My man.
Hello there. Welcome to the world's largest mod party. I'm Big Al from Monkeytron Collective, and here with Justin from Make Test Battle. And we're doing a community spotlight section where we'll be chatting to various members from the community and having a chat with them, seeing what they've got, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Hey, this is the Midnight Mod Society. It's about 1 a.m. here in Southern California. Just wrapped up my first 3S Rapid Strike build, the Kelly Industries switch plate, Krakens, and a Valkyrie. So really happy with that. Seemed to work out fine first run through. Working on a Strife now, about to put a blaster wrap kit on it.
Have you used those blaster wrap kits yet?
I did one on a Kronos. I put a green base coat on it and then put the blaster wrap kit on. And I really liked it. It's pretty easy to install and stayed nice and sticky.
Yeah, I've got a few of them here. I just tested them out on Strifes. Yeah, they were kind of fun. Being mainly a cosmetic painter myself, I don't think I'd go down that line of using them all the time. But for a lot of the kits and stuff, they're a good cosmetic option, definitely.
Oh, so do they do a wrap
nice
now for the Rapid Strike?
A blaster
I
wrap
haven't seen one for the Rapid Strike.
I think they've got Strife, Kronos, Strong Arm, the Fortnite, Silence Pistol. I think that's about it so far.
Ah, okay. Yep.
Yeah, they're good. Definitely the wraps are quite good. They're good quality. The vinyl on it's really good, and they go on nice and easy. Definitely takes a bit of time, and you need to definitely sit down and put a bit of effort into getting it all lined up properly to make it look good. But I like the idea of giving it a coat of paint first, just to cover it up underneath. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I had a mistake on the installation. Put one piece totally on the wrong side, so I had to peel it off and put it on the right side, and it stuck just fine after that.
Yeah, no, they're good for that. They're definitely good, decent quality material.
It makes it a lot easier for people to start doing paint jobs.
Yeah, I said we do a lot of games with a lot of young kids, and yeah, there's no way if they paint a blaster, it generally comes in spray painted black, and that's it. So these kind of kits, the blaster apps would be a good option for these kids. No paint involved, and they could just sit down and do it on an evening with a pen and so whatever. They'd probably love the things. Yeah.
Noob black, as what you used to call
yes,
it.
yeah, we get lost. The Call of Duty kids, we call them. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys modding right now?
No,
I'm modding right now.
Everyone else want to introduce themselves?
Yeah,
So,
sure.
Rainbow,
Yep.
Rainbow, do you want to introduce yourself?
All right, cool. Hello, everyone. I'm Rainbow. I'm the main person behind Rainbow Mods and Props, and I do, mods and props. It's quite simple. I've been nerf modding for about 3 years, and it's funny because I'm mostly I started painting, and that was the thing. And it's like, we were talking about Raptors then, I was like, my brain went, but why? There's so much more in painting, and because I just love and sit down and hand paint everything for like ever, and hours and hours, and that gives me joy. And that's how I started. And by now I'm doing a bunch of mods and things and stuff, and I have stuff to showcase if you guys are interested.
Let's see it. Yeah.
So let's start with the big one that I wanted to release. It's the Razor Song build, and Al, you might remember last year in FoamFest I've been talking about it. It's a big integration of a Demolisher and a Raptor Strike, and then Crossbow came along and fit on the front as well. And finally, it's about a year's work. I finished it, and it looks something like this. There we go. Is that in frame? Yeah.
That is ridiculous. What is this? What is this? What did you bring upon us?
All right. This. So we're looking at the Demolisher main body, right? And we have a Raptor Strike stock integrated here. And then we have the crossbolt front in the front with the bow arms, because I love the look of a crossbow. The funny thing about this is I can still take these out, which is great for transport.
Yeah.
And now you can see behind that, I have rocket storage, which is custom designed by Fetterwurst, is a German nerfer. And he custom designed these pieces so that when you put on the arm, it slides in like there, that's actually in the middle between the two rockets. So they're supposedly off center.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I have, well, the other things custom design is that mag release right here. A friend of mine, Kevin, did that. And it's just really cool because you can either use it this way or you can just use it this way when you're grabbing the mic, the mic. And other than that, it comes with the top rail is from that's the worker retaliator kit. And I've measured this and I built it so it just fit from the very front of the crossbolt to the end or the start of the stock right here. Got a flip upside up top. I put a voltmeter in the back here where the priming indicator was, which is connected to the jam door. So when you open that, this will turn on. I don't know if you can see.
Yep.
And other than that, internal modifications, it runs on 2S. It has fang revamps in there, worker high crush wheels, and I've modded the heck out of this as good as I could. So it's a really tough prime, but it shoots rockets very hard.
Is that a paint dip that's on that, or is it just paint?
No, that's painted. That's sponge paint, actually. So what I did with this is, let me take stuff off really quick so you can see the paint job better.
So it was like blotching?
Yeah, there we go.
Dabbing?
So what I did here is it completely colored the whole thing black. And then I used spray paints from Montana spray paints. They're all highly UV active. So if you point like a black light on that, that's actually screaming at you. You can't really see, but I have a video that I will release and then you can see it on there. But the way sponge painting works, or the way I do it, is I'm just gonna spray down. I have a piece of cardboard next to me and I'm wearing a mask, and I spray down some of that spray paint on the cardboard. And then I use a rough piece of sponge and go right in there and then start sponge painting on it and then spray again. And that dries up really quickly, which is nice because that way you can do multiple layers of different colors without smearing the colors into and blending them into each other on the blaster, because the moment you put them down, they're almost instantly dry. And so that's how I could do this multicolor sponge paint without sort of smearing it all over the blaster.
It's like rainbow camo.
Yeah. One cool thing about this is the battery stock, the battery tray. Well, I have turned the, let me just open this. There we go. Let's try not to drop it. I have turned the stock here into a battery stock. So I have the 3S here. So you can, whoops, I'll try to avoid this. Come back. There we go. So the piece I cut out is just that, and it's a plain cut, and you could take this off here, and that's where the 2S LiPo sits, right in there.
Does that screw in, or have you got magnets on it or something?
At the moment it screws in, and I'm using the stock, like the screws here, which, you know, takes about half a minute to open. I'm trying to find thumb screws that are long enough to actually go through there.
Works, it's good.
And yeah, well, that's the latest big project I've been working on, and as I said, it's been in the making for a while, and I'm just loving how it came out. Like, there's a lot of epoxy work that you don't see on this one, but if you're interested, like, it's on all my Instagram and stuff, you can follow that. But I basically had to cover a lot of gaps in here, and also the top here is part of a recon slide so that I have a rail to attach this to. And yeah, that's pretty much the latest big mod project I have been working on, and I'm going to disconnect this really quick. There we go.
Can I ask a boring question?
Sure, always.
Just the name tag on the side saying Razor Song or whatever. How do you make that? Is that just printed on paper or 3D printed, or is it like a sticker?
That is actually not a boring question. That is 3D printed, so it's about 1.5 millimeters height. And then I've glued it on before I started painting, then painted over with the black, then taped it off when I did the sponge paint, and then took off the paint and then sort of give it just a golden sort of edge. It's the same with the number on the other side. It's LS32. And yeah, I always do this. I name my blasters and I give them a number. LS, by the way, stands for Love and Sunshine. And people have complaining that when I hand paint this, sometimes, you know, the letters are a bit wonky and, you know, it just doesn't look that good. So I tried the 3D printed attempt with this one for the first time. And I'm quite happy. It looks quite good.
Good.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I do a lot of custom decal work on my blasters, but the 3D print definitely gives it a lot more texture and pops with it, isn't it? It's good.
Well, I figured with big blasters like this, it's quite a nice addition. But when you do smaller ones, let me just grab the current project I'm working on. So this is the side of a hammer shot, which I wanted to be rear loading. And I can't add a 3D printed sign onto this because it's too small. So like if I put a sign here, it'll just be too big in the overall concept. So I probably will go back to hand paint a number and a name on this. But with big integrations, that's totally fine, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the space on the blaster, it's definitely a good option there.
So yeah,
how did you integrate the pieces? Like, what was your technique of joining the parts together? Because I've seen many different people do different ways. Like Bobo keeps going on about DevCon and whatnot.
So I do like the main integration with this is resin on the inside, fast curing resin, and then it's epoxy sculpt on the outside. So the initial bondings I always do with just a bit of hot glue or plastic glue and tape to hold it in place. And then what I do is on pieces like when I attach a shoulder stock which to the grip, which I need to be solid because I'm leaning on it, I will on the inside then sort of just pour resin in. So I'm going to mark off some section with tape so I don't have the resin going everywhere. And then so I have resin on the inside and then smooth cast resin on the inside, and it's epoxy sculpt on the outside. And for the front, because there's no real pressure on here, and actually that front just sits inside the demolisher so it can't go anywhere, I just use epoxy sculpt on the outside and a bit of glue on the inside, and that's it. And I find that...
Can you give us a close-up of the back taper where the seam line would be? Yeah. Because I was looking at it and it's like, that's pretty smooth. Like, I was trying to work out where the join was.
So this bit till about here is the stock. That's where the recon slide starts up the top, and that's where the demolisher starts right here. And so down here, that's where the demolisher starts. That's where the recon stock is.
Yeah. Nice.
So it's the same down here. The demolisher grip goes down to here. And then this is all molded with epoxy sculpt, and then that's the stock of the rector straight.
And a lot of sanding to get it smooth.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah, that looks good.
I did the demolisher with a crossbolt stock recently, and I was about a week of putty, thin layer of putty, sand it down, another like maybe repeated that process 5 or 6 times over the course of a week just to get that join done, the stock and the bottom of the handle. So yeah,
but I found
a week's worth of work.
Yeah, definitely. But I find when you're using epoxy sculpt, this is why I love this stuff. You have a long work time, and actually use a lot of water to keep it smooth. And then I have I got myself a bunch of wax working tools, and so you can just like when you're working corners and everything, while the epoxy is still wet, you can use those little metal tools to actually pre-make the corner as good as you can, so that will reduce your sanding time by a lot. But in the end, I still do a lot of sanding. So with this build alone, it's probably 3 days at least 8 hours a day of just sanding the blaster. Yeah. But then again, I love sanding. I know it's a meditative sort of work, and you start to shape stuff, and your vision becomes reality. It's just that's what I love about it.
Yeah, when it's a mundane task, I try and use it to meditate or something like that. Just chill out and just focus on something simple.
Yeah. And as for this, so if you guys are interested, the big video release will be tomorrow, so it'll be on my YouTube channel, and then you can I'm going to talk about more detail about the things, how I made them, and all that.
For the viewers at home, what's your YouTube channel again?
It's Rainbow Circus. So yeah, so that'll be on there, and I have a bunch of other mod videos, and yeah, quite happy with how this turned out.
I think we'll let Adrian know to, or one of the admins know to let to add all the links for everyone's channels and Instagrams to the description of this live stream.
Oh yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, once the VOD goes up.
Good idea.
Yeah, so because I have all the work in progress pictures on my Instagram as well, so you can if you're interested.
It's always good to see the process of those kind of builds. I love that.
Yeah, I have another big one that it's not quite ready yet, but if you guys want to see, it's going to be a heavy-ass machine gun in a post-apocalyptic style. Whoop.
Oh, cool, Vulcan.
Excellent. Is that a double dealer front end?
No, that's actually a Centurion with a double dealer grip. So that's the Centurion front end right here. It'll have a battery stock as well with magnets this case, and then it'll just going to be massive belt fit machine gun.
So you do a lot of props for LARPers in Germany and stuff?
Yeah. I do a lot of LARP props, mostly hammer shots in all honesty. This is like the quick draw pistols and it's a shoot like one hand.
Yeah.
I do a lot of commissions on that kind of thing, and I also, interesting enough, I get a lot of requests from people by just, can you make the functioning blaster but don't do the aesthetics? So I do the aesthetics myself, and I'm like, sure. So I end up modding rampages and things, and and I do the occasional cosplay prop that actually functions, which is another fun thing.
Do you have your unicorn shield there by any chance?
I have. Give me a second.
Yeah, this thing's amazing. They built this a couple of months ago.
There we go.
Look at that. Damn.
It's so you see close up. It's a brilliant piece of work. It's really good.
The detail. I like that.
It's like
The bad unicorn.
you can't see on camera. It's got rainbow glitter everywhere, and it's like highly UV active color as well. So it'll pop if you put it on the black light. Can we? Nope, we can't. Okay. And then so it's all made from EVA foam, so basic cosplay material. And there's going to be a video, making off video of this as well on my YouTube channel pretty soon once I've finished editing it. And it's my little Nerf shield. I'm making a bigger one, by the way. It's too big to bring it up here, but it's going to be like a full-on riot shield, so man size with like a see-through sort of thing, but with the same unicorn in the front and sort of the same style.
Excellent. Do we want to move on to LZ mods? Have you got anything to show us there?
I was just gonna say really quick. It's rainbow and sunshines or else. All right, go ahead. Show us, what have you got, Leon? LZ mods.
I've got a whole lot of stuff behind me I can talk about, but basically I brought my first Nerf stuff when I was 14. I'm 24 now, so Nerfing for a decade so far. And behind me is my little wall of modified stuff. Right now, my current project, I've been getting into air power recently. It's like, buying lots of compressors, lots of pipe fittings and all that. So behind me is my first, you could say, pneumatic blaster. You can see a 12-volt tire pump from Bunnings tied to the bottom of a long shot, basically. You can probably make out a Specs VZ there. It's pretty heavy because of it's just because of the tire pump, basically. But this has been pretty cool. This has been a big learning process for me. It's been an expensive learning process too, but worth it. And
so that's like, do you say that's got the compressor built in then?
That's it right here.
Yeah.
It's just zip tied straight to the underneath of the barrel, basically. A Zito, just some really cheap warehouse one. Oh, my laptop's running low on power, so I'll make sure that doesn't run out.
Yeah,
But yeah.
just to let everyone know, for full disclosure, I have seen this in person. So yeah,
it's
Leon
different.
brought it over.
It's a lot different now. Like when I brought it over, I was having that problem where it was so powerful. When you would shoot it, the air pushing against the dart would blow the breech open again, basically. So what I did to fix that is I glued a belt buckle clip onto the breech and onto the receiver, which I'm sorry you are. Let's see if we can get this right. So basically, there's a buckle like what you get on your lanyard or on your
Oh, sweet.
you know what I mean? And like when you move it forward, it has a really nice mechanical click. So now that can't.
It's so absurd and jank, and
It
it's so
can't physically
nerfed.
move back, though. That's the point. So you can shoot this with a force of 1,000 Nerf guns, and it's not going to leak air where air shouldn't leak out. It can only go one place. And previously, like when I was at Justin's house, I was shooting this thing while like physically holding the bolt forward because it would just blow open. You can hit it with your eyes. It wasn't good, basically. But later on, I'd love to shoot some holes and things with this. I've been charging my batteries, and it's a lot of fun. It's very destructive. But apart from that,
One shot, one kill.
What kind of batteries are you running that on?
You can see a 3S Lipo right here.
Okay.
This nice little stock. This 3D printed stock I originally downloaded from Thingiverse. I can't remember, it's called like Naruto or something, adjustable stock. And I hated that you needed to buy rods and tools and stuff. I just wanted something that you can 3D print and smack straight in. So I spent heaps of time remodeling it, like adjusting it. And I have uploaded my design onto Thingiverse as like a remix of his original stock. It's missing the back half. You can see how it's sort of missing the back half, and I'll show you the back, which is if you downloaded my version from Thingiverse, it's basically like it's all in one. You don't need any tools or anything, but I've made this specially with the intent of like gluing it onto that.
Ah, sweet.
Basically.
Yeah.
So that's the back half. That's like what it's normally meant to be like. And to show, talking about that stock, I can show you. Here's a prototype I made, like an early prototype where it's all one solid thing. And I glued a tactical rail from a Stampede onto the side of the other side. Just to but yeah, this was just a prototype basically. And this is basically what the Thingiverse thing's like when you download it. And I had another one made somewhere.
You never know when you need to scope your blaster while it's lying down.
Yeah, I thought I could do something cool, like attach like an ammo holder or something on the side here. But I kind of stuffed up. Like I said, this is a prototype, so it's kind of expected to make mistakes. But if you put an attachment on it, you can't really shoulder it comfortably without the attachment like getting in the way somehow. But that's okay because
Can you regulate the air pressure on that easy enough?
Can
you tune it up and down?
Oh yeah. The way that you adjust it is, see how the air pump is running through a T here, and on top of the T here is an adjustable pressure switch. So this pressure switch is wired up in series with the battery, in between the battery and the compressor itself. So with an Allen key, all you have to do is just turn this knob, and you can make it automatically turn off the compressor at whatever set pressure. And as soon as you shoot, it starts filling it up for you. So it's like, zzz, and then bang. And then as soon as you let go of the trigger, zzz, and then it stops at whatever set pressure, bang, or whatever. So yeah, I can show you like later on when I destroy some things with it.
I've actually just built one almost the exact same as that, but I've used a small mini compressor, rechargeable compressor that I built into the stock. And
well, like a little tire inflator sort of thing.
Yeah, little cylindrical tire inflators, and that sits in the stock. It's a long shot with a Centurion stock. If you go to my Instagram or stuff, you'll be able to see pictures of it. And so you set the pressure on that, and it charges the Specs PZ. But you have to manually press the button to recharge it in between shots. So the rate of fire is a bit slower, but to have it all self-contained, it's really handy. And then if I want, I can just unplug the tire compressor and plug in an HPA tank, and and use HPA or LPA. It's really good.
That's good. I'm just running around the house getting my charger, which I got right here, because I don't want to run out midstream. But we're back. Basically, we are back in the nurse room. And yeah, I'll show you some other cool stuff that I'm working on at the moment in like a few seconds. The next thing I want to show you is an integration with I think it's called a command file. Let's see if I can find it. A retaliator and a command file. No, an enforcer, that's what it's called.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
This I made a while ago, but I haven't taken to a single Nerf event or really shown much online. It's not painted or anything, like it's still like work in progress, but originally you'd have to hold this gun a bit like a Vulcan, have a handle here, and some weird crappy handle in the back. So I made it so it can take your Nerf stops and everything, put a rail from like, I don't even know what gun this rail came from, honestly. But I reinforced this front bit because originally it was like a triangle shaped sort of thing. There was a wheel here, a wheel here, and a wheel here. So I pulled off here, and I pulled off the thing here.
Is that a 3D printing filament reel?
Yes, it is. And I printed, this needed to be reinforced, so this is some other random thing I printed and shoved in with lots of glue. And then yeah, this is like two wheels actually, because there wasn't enough space in between to contain the belt. So I got 2 of these rolls and I cut them in half and then I glued them together just to buy myself a bit more width. And then the problem was you can't really, I'm not in America, and this gun, this blaster is, I think you can't buy in Australia basically. Someone had to bring it to me when they went on holiday to the US. So the problem is acquiring more and more and more belts. So I actually designed the belts for these, and I think it does work in all the other blasters made by this company, Adventure Force or Dart Zone. I'm pretty sure that basically yeah, you can just 3D print your own infinitely. And I just put up another thing I put on Thingiverse. Here's a little sample. You know what I'm saying? So this is like, I don't know, made it different colors, make it funky, but it took a few goes, but it's like not too tight and not too loose. Like I can shove a dart in there nicely and it's not gonna. That was another problem with this stupid thing. It was too loose as well. Like if you shoved a dart in and you ran around and shook it, a lot of the darts would just flop out basically. This one's not doing it, but it was a big problem and it would cause it to jam a lot because imagine even if it's not fully come out, if it's just come out a little bit, as it's feeding in, the dart would get stuck. I would just basically bend basically as it's trying to get in, or whatever you call whatever it feeds. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. So that fixed a lot of problems, just basically using a custom little 3D printed thingy-mabob. But yeah, this work.
What's the pusher mechanism in that then?
Oh, it's like an auto pusher. So it's very similar to like what a rapid strike has. Like when you pull the trigger, it's just got like something that goes like that, connected to like a gearbox. It's really similar to a rapid. I've looked at photos of the internals and stuff, and it's just it's identical to like a rapid strike pusher, but with bigger gears, basically. And yeah, this was probably one of the first integrations I did. You can see I've used liquid nails and Loctite super glue in the seam there. Basically, I got like a little 3D printed trigger I made ages ago. Yeah, so that was pretty cool, and I'm excited to take this to HVZ one day because that's what I had it in mind for. Another cool blaster that is from the same company as this is this one. And again, Adventure Force seems to be the one. I just wish they sold these in Australia, but I don't know if Europe has them, but I know it's certainly in America. But this one's cool. This was like the first Nerf blaster that I've come across or ever seen in my life that has a hopper, like a paintball gun. They can just shove in darts, like it'll fit up to 40 darts, I'm pretty sure, in there. And it's just
I remember this thing was cool when it was
and like I wish I had batteries in it right now, but yeah, it's like when you pull the trigger, you can see like a caterpillar track in the bottom there, maybe. And the caterpillar track would move to move the darts into the wheels, but it would also have like a rapid strike sort of pusher, also pushing the darts along. And you got this funny springy thing here, which is constantly applying like downwards pressure or making sure the darts are like flat, and also helps it feed, but also stops the darts from like going crazy when you're running around.
Yeah.
One thing that I found out after like modding this was it's actually got little secret flip-up sights Yeah, which is pretty dope. Not realized that. And you probably noticed it's got a Nerf barrel. That's not normal. I found the model for this on Thingiverse, basically. So it's just like some, obviously, Nerf attachment thing. The original barrel is, yeah, have it. What the original barrel looks like. So it used to be pretty damn long because it was like that. And like, now it's like that. So it's much shorter.
I like how it's this giant big box and then it goes down to just a silencer or suppressor.
Oh, well, you can put anything you want on it. Because now it's got the attachment thing. Like, you can put a long strike barrel on it or whatever. But yeah, what else was I going to say about this? Oh yeah, one more thing is this had a really stupid gimmicky button on the top. You can see here it's like an orange iron sight, but this is like a 3D printed object I've made, and again I've chucked on Thingiverse for people to download, and it did nothing. It was a button. It looked like you were meant to press it, or it looked like a switch that was meant to release this, obviously, but it did nothing. It was like a Swato switch or whatever. So what I did was I took it out and I pulled it apart, and I just basically recreated it so it did do something. So I'll show you like a close up. But now when you push the switch, see how it's actually making it open, like it's doing like what you'd expect it to do. Previously, this was just a fake plastic button that seriously did nothing. But and you're just meant to by force sort of yank it open, or you're meant to push it backwards like that, I guess. But yeah, so I guess it's nicer because you got like a click, and at the same time, rather than it being a flat plain switch, it sort of doubles like an iron sight as well. I don't know if you can see, it's like a little left and right. You know, you can maybe target something in between that. So it's made it a bit more useful and a bit more practical. You can actually download flywheel cages for this blaster too. I think Flywheel the World or something. I think I found it on Thingiverse. I've yet to put it in, but yeah, you can get a flywheel cage for this to give you more crush and stuff. I'm excited to use this in HVZ as well. This will be awesome because you don't have to carry around mags, and you just on the go, you know, just stuff darts in your pockets. And whenever you got some time, you just shove them, you know, just take your time putting them in the top, and you've got 40 on tap to go full water.
Wait, does moving around and the jostling, like how reliable is that hopper when it comes to that?
Well, that's what this is for. That's what this does. It just
So I'm just looking at that little, like, how that pusher, that I don't know, that plate has that concertina of all those individual plastic parts which they would have had to injection mold and then assemble. Like, that thing's absurd.
It's a lot of fun though. It's like a slinky. But it works, like it does its job. And also you may notice these two tabs, like left and right, these two orange tabs. When it's shooting, the tabs actually
they
jiggle.
jostle it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the tabs move to like help the darts sort of move and not, you know, just helps, again, another thing that helps the darts feed. You got the caterpillar trap, you got the automatic pusher, you got these jiggling little side flaps, and you got this slinky on top, pushing them down the whole time.
Do you remember what FPS this thing got stock?
Believe it or not, it got like around 98, close to 100 FPS stock out of the box. Like you can even see some YouTube videos. I think Drat did a review of this, and yeah, he obviously, whatever, on the YouTube reviews, they shoot it through a Pony anyways, and it did seriously get like 98, 100-ish FPS right out the box. Because
It'd
it's
be fun to take this to if Z-Town comes back to Australia, or
it would own.
What?
This would own, like it's from America, so it's American spec. That's why it's surprisingly strong at the box.
Yeah. Oh, look out! Midnight Mod's got his version. Oh, is that the newer one?
The Dark Zone Destructor, I think it is.
Yeah, they yes, that's it. It's like the next level where they made it shoots a bit faster and it's got better ergonomics. How many darts does it fit though?
It's about 30.
Dude, okay, so not as much, but still.
It's shooting right about 100 stock.
Yep.
I like to load this thing up and give it to my 5-year-old. Just full autos everybody.
It's so good. And it's so unique. Like, I can't think of any Nerf blasters that use that type of system to feed and load darts. Like, it's so, I know it's special. The only thing I can think of that's similar is paintball guns. and that's a completely different thing.
Yeah, they're totally different, and also like Gelsoft and Airsoft, they all have different kind of hoppers feeding decks. But yeah, they've never really tried to do them as hoppers, and I think that might be because they want to sell mags.
Yeah, but there's more blasters that don't use mags than ones that are. So I don't think that's a
that too. Yeah.
But like Nerf needs to.
But now they've just
take
gone
notice.
nuts with the whole rival line, where it's like,
Yeah, you're right. Rival. The hoppers are in the rival blasters.
Redundant. Yeah.
You're right. They sort of do have hoppers covered with the rival line.
Then they went absurd with the absurdly too big with the Prometheus, and then they had to tone it down with the Perseus.
And yet you still see people making the Prometheus's hopper size bigger with all those chunky 3D printed like add-ons and stuff. It just looks so goofy. I'm like, how would you aim? Like, obviously aiming's out of the question when you've got like a 1,000 round hopper sticking out the top.
3D printed solid did that one.
There we go.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, you
Is that
can't
the
see
out of
shit
darts
with this
one?
topper.
Is that the out of darts one?
This one's from Thingiverse. One of our Midnight Mod Society members printed it for me. It's the Thingiverse version.
How much did
got
that one fit?
I don't even know. I put 150 rounds in it, and it still takes more. So it's probably about 160.
Nice. Oh man, that's good.
One
If you
of,
ever need to
one of the
reload
games, one of the games we run, out of 40 players recently, we had about 12 players turned up with hopper-fed rival blasters. And after the first couple of games, they'd gone through about 4,000 rounds of rival ammo, and ended up having to put the rest of the ammo out of the way and just say, right, that's enough. Just if you want more ammo, you need to scavenge now. You've had more than enough. Because it was like rival tennis. It was just one squad on one team, one squad on the other team. It was just a sea of rival rounds flying backwards and forwards. These guys with the Perseus hoppers and Nemesis, and it was crazy. I was refereeing in the middle.
That's a way to describe it. Foul. Everything.
Yeah. So we now have to limit, because this is it's mainly a kind of kids game. It was mainly kids that are playing and stuff. So we kind of now limit the rival ammo for these guys. Otherwise, it just turns into a bit of a rival fest.
It would be funny to see a child wearing a Proton backpack that's as big as they are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they're so short, they've got to. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, now give that kid 2 underslung sort of blaster things, and she's like, push the button up here, and then you just have that little robot running about.
And because they're smaller, they've got a smaller cross section, so they're a hard target to hit.
Geez, I can show you another random thing if you feel like it. I got this is probably the biggest thing I've ever 3D printed so far. Which goes by the name of the Striker Killer by MHP Arms. Basically looks like an ACR assault rifle, but it's 3D printed.
That's spoopy.
In metallic gold, and it's glow in the dark. Like, and it needs more time to charge, son. But all this white part is glow in the dark filament, and all this gold part's just shiny metallic. And I did modify it a bit. Like, this took me ages to print, and I got this before I got my new printer. Previously, like 2 years ago, I brought a new printer, which is huge. It's like 30 by 40 build platform. But prior to that, I just been using a little one, which had just 14 centimeters square build space. So there's so many like themes where I've had to print parts as multiple parts and glue it together. You can see lots of yucky like liquid nails and glue everywhere. This part here, like this, what would you call it? Hand guard, I guess. Instead of it being one solid piece, which I could do nowadays, I could print this all in one go. Now I have to print it as 1, 2, 3, basically. You can see like the ugly seams there, but it does work. It's got a solenoid in it. It's got a really good flywheel cage in it. It's got upgraded motors in it. You can see the motors sticking out there.
Why did the motor stick out?
Whoa,
So here's
what's interesting. Yeah, I don't think it should have, but you can see I've actually had to get a Dremel and chop away just to.
Are they 180s or?
Yep, they are just no. Actually, I don't think so. I think they're just
What
130s.
motors are they?
Honestly, I did this so long ago. I can't remember. They were good motors. I think they were like Rhinos or something. But yeah, it's obviously wired to do lipo.
It'd be weird if I don't think Heath would release something where the motors wouldn't fit, and so maybe it
That's
would
what I
have been designed for 130s, but yeah, it doesn't fit 180s.
Yeah, either I've used bigger motors or either my old 3D printing was so bad that something's gone wrong. But I've improvised and just cut some room. One thing that I didn't like about this design was it had a 2-stage trigger. So like pushing the trigger a little bit turned on the flywheels, and then pushing it all the way would actually activate the solenoid inside. So another thing I did was I did some cutting. Like this is an afterthought. This is me chopping away at the handle, and I just designed like some ghetto little piece of plastic as the rev trigger. I just added, a micro switch in there, and you can hear it clicking away. And then, yeah, so all this does is, so it's more like a stripe now. All this does is shoot. All this does is rev. And yeah, I can stick a lipo in it now and shoot it. It works fine. But the big problem is the solenoid, basically this little thing inside it. I need to upgrade the return spring because basically the darts feeding up in the mag, applying pressure to this stops it from returning all the way. It like stops just like that, basically. So what I need to do is, apparently you can use a retaliator springs, like salvage out of a retaliator, basically. And if I just take off this spring and replace it, then it'll have more muscle to return all the way back, despite the darts feeding up, pushing up against it, basically.
I think that's just a case of that little spring being really cheap and weak. But
totally.
You can't make it too strong, otherwise it'll create more work for the solenoid to do. Yeah.
And look, it's not full auto or anything. It's only semi-automatic, so it's not going to go crazy. But yeah, it works. And one other random thing I did was I didn't like how the solenoid, which is pushing the darts, has like a rounded tip like that. I wanted it to be flat, so obviously pushes the darts better. So again, I just quickly designed up and 3D printed like you can't really see, but I basically designed a little thing that I glued straight on the end there that just made it flat. And the mag was jiggling around a little bit inside. Again, might be my 3D printer floor at the time, but I put some bits of cardboard in there to fill dead space, and that made it perfect, actually. It's good old cardboard. It rocks now. It rocks. Lively, like, mag doesn't go anywhere, only when it's meant to. Yeah, that's cool. This is still probably up from the helmets that I've printed for people in the past. This is definitely the largest object I've ever printed and assembled so far. Oh, it took ages, and honestly, like, it took me 2 rolls of filament to make this. Just get a stripe and mod that or whatever. Like, it's so much. Yeah, so like this thing, like this modulus or any basic flywheel, I'll just grab that and then off the bat, just rewire that instead of printing the entire body from scratch. Like, it's so much more expensive than just spending $15 on a secondhand flywheel that's probably built better and stronger than a 3D printed item anyway.
LZ, where can people find you online find your work? Like, you got a YouTube?
I have
a
few special places. I've been running a Facebook page for years called LZ Mods, basically. So yeah, LZ Mods is my basic Facebook page. But recently, since I did a business course, I've created a website which is just centered around like 3D printing stuff for people. Basically called cheap3dprintingservices.com.au, and you go on it, and it's just basically a form where you can upload a file and type whatever you want, which gets sent to me for me to look at. But also right below that form is like a gallery of heaps of random stuff I've printed and designed.
Wait, you don't have an Instagram?
I don't have an Instagram. No, I just have all the pictures and stuff on my Facebook. Honestly, I feel like Facebook just does everything Instagram does, but more. You can just shove all my photos and all my content and all my
It
links
gets
there.
buried with everything else. Whereas if you do Instagram, there's it's all about the photos and looking cool. Anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
So
You're totally
Al,
right. Instagram is good.
And you get to
Al,
say,
were
I'm
we
doing it
going
for
to
the
be
graph.
looking at the Facebook group during the stream, or looking at progress people are making, or what's the plan?
Well, should we let Midnight Mods have a show and tell? And then, I'll go into the Facebook group and see what people are doing as well.
Yeah, cool. So we'll have a look through there coming up. Yeah, and Rainbow, Leon, and Midnight. Just give us your input if anything you like when we go and have a look at that. So yeah.
So Midnight Mods, have you got anything?
Sure, I like to show off my caliburns. I always get a lot of interest in my caliburns here. Well, this is my first caliburn from Captain Slug. It's just running the 788, trying to keep it close to that 150 FPS for our local game. Recently built the Caliburn U ordered the parts kit from Slug and painted the U channel with the tooth and nail.
Did you print the parts yourself?
I build it all, but the print, I don't have a printer, so I just buy my prints, and I really like to get hands-on and know how to take the stuff apart.
How did you paint the U-bars on that?
Just some green spray paint that I got from Hobby Lobby. It's a brand called Iron Lake.
Oh, Iron Lac. Got it's black and white and magenta on the can.
Yep.
Yeah, that's an Australian brand, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, it started out as a graffiti brand. It's actually really good. It's a really good paint.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's got some good colors to it. And it's been springers for me lately. I got my Ceta S. My Ceta, I feel like it's everything that I wanted my retaliators to be. So my Ceta S, I'm just getting a little more out of it than I can squeeze out of my retaliators. I got these Busby Sentinels. Got plans to put a walnut stock on here.
That's cool. I actually took a Sentinel to because they're stock. I took a Sentinel to one of the old Z towns. So wait, what are you going to carve out of that?
That's a chunk of walnut. I work at a really awesome hardwood lumber yard. So this is a chunk of walnut that I'm going to carve to make my butt stock for my Sentinel.
You could cut that down the middle and make 2 stocks. That's a big piece of wood.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, this thing's pretty heavy right now. I can get 2 out of it.
That is so thick.
Yeah. But I just got tons of other things. I like my extended Vortex mag. Don't get a chance to use these as much as I'd like to.
Wait. Standard Vortex mag?
Yeah,
Show
go
us that.
back to that.
Bring that back. What is that?
This is a reactor tube. I followed a Bobo Lolo video. It's a reactor tube with the reactor spring, and you cut the mag open, and you can fit about 30, 35 discs now. And this one is a Firefly Vortex mag. So it lights up as well, and can charge my Vortex disc. It's about 35 rounds as well.
Do you use the reactor spring?
Use the reactor spring, and then I fashioned a way to attach the stock spring from the mag as well. So I get a little more capacity that way.
Oh, so you join the 2 springs together.
Right.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool.
And for me, it all kind of started when I found the SoCal Nerf Force. My brother bought my son a retaliator for Christmas, and I found the SoCal Forest group. I built the Quadulus.
Yeah, man.
Had to get that painted up. And here's another one of my favorite integrations, my Raven Centurion. It's got the battery stock in the back as well.
Ooh, that's neat. I like that one.
Got some UV lights inside I really like the idea of night games and glow-in-the-dark darts, but I've never really get a chance to play in one. It's got UV lights in it, voltmeter on the side.
Do you have the lights on the Raven powered by the Raven battery tray?
Yes, the Raven battery tray is running just the AA's for the UV lights.
Yeah, sweet.
Then the 3S LiPo sits in the Centurion buttstock. That's Ravens. I got a couple of other modded Ravens with some Biggs NZ resin cast parts, things on 2S.
Nice. Actually, those green parts would have looked perfect on like the original lime yellow Raven.
Yeah, that's what my integration was, that original green Raven. I left a little tiny bit of the original green right here. And lately, a knockout's been loving my knockout mods. You know, there's some NIC pistol rounds, dual strike speed loader, just a 9 kg long shot spring, but I'm getting like 220s out of this thing.
Yeah, man. Like at Wasteland Wars, even though there's people running around with HPA and long shots and all that, there was one guy. Actually, I think it was Sweet Pete. He was running around with a single down dual strike, and that thing hurt. Like, and he was really accurate with it too.
Yeah, the dual strike's a lot of fun. I brought it to Armageddon last year for the pistol rounds, and it did grill it really good.
So was that just a half-length fed Strife?
Yes, that's my half-length Strife, and it's running the Lotus system. I was able to pick up a Lotus drop leg mag at Ragnarok. And the Strife was originally just built for full lengths. It's a OFP Morpheus cage, like a 42 millimeter crush. And then when I put the short dart pusher in there, it just happened to be right at that 130 range. So it was a perfect little HVZ half dart Strife. So I was real happy with that too.
What did you just go and find, Rainbow?
I totally forgot. We're talking about Stravens and things. Like, this is a thing I'm working on. And yeah, it's because it reminded me of the idea. I'm using the Raven battery tray for all the lights that are going to be inside, and I'm going to be using this for the motors, because this will have all like Biggs and Z parts and lots of lights and things. But on top of that, has that fancy color flip-flop sort of rainbow paint.
Oh, is it pearlescent?
Needs a close-up.
It's really weird. It needs sunlight, so when you look at it, it's silver. And then when it hits sunlight, it goes full on rainbow. I don't know if you can sort of see.
You can get hints of it. Yeah. Is it like a holographic or a pearlescent powder or something?
It's Duplicolor spray paint. It's Duplicolor flip flop effect paint. That's called Ultra Mirage or something. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some good pictures of it on your Instagram, isn't there?
Yeah, I have on my Instagram. I have videos of this in the sun, and you can see like the full-on sparkle. So make sure to check that out. But I just wanted to bring that in because I'm using the same battery method as Midnight was using. So like this Raven tray will then power all the lights in here, and this will get like big parts all over it. So just reminded me of that.
So going back to Midnight, so is there anything else you wanted to show us?
I'm just trying to make progress on my Strife here. It's got the base coat on it. It's got the voltmeter wired up. Got to throw my blaster wraps kit on it. It's going to be a really cool ganja themed blaster wrap, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah,
wait, what mag was that?
Just some goofy mag from AliExpress. It's a 15 mag with the blaster wraps kit on it.
That's blocky. Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah, it's a weird angle. It's not much angle to it.
Nice. That looks good.
Thanks.
About these blaster wrap kits, like I haven't used those. Is it just sort of like stick on like vinyl sticker thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real similar to like a die cast or a die cut vinyl sticker. It's got a little bit of texture to it, and it's not really sticky to touch it, but it stays sticky. You know, you can put it down and take it off and stick it back down again, and you know, they're not perfect. You get some weird lines showing through where the original shell comes through, but it's pretty cool and really easy to install.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So Rainbow, in the YouTube, somebody's asked how easy or how difficult was it to apply the color shifting paint? The Rainbow's-
all of that I was doing on this is spray painted with cans, but I'm not gonna lie, it is several layers and the priming. So the Duplicolor says, they state that the darker the base coat is, the better. So what I did is, like, I did my basic prime, and then I went down with a layer of gloss black. So it's completely flat black and really, really shiny, which is supposedly for the best effect. And then I had the spray cans, the Duplicolor effect cans. They're about 150 milliliters, about that big, cost 15 euros a piece. And I used, on this so far, I used 2 entire cans on both parts of the shell, this part and the other one, just to get it to there. And in all honesty, I'm still not 100% happy. I wish I had another can to give. So we're talking layers. I think that's 5 layers. So that's 5 go-arounds of the effect paint. And I still have some spots. The problem is, the moment you look at this where there is no sunlight, when it's indoors, it's just flat silver. And then you can see with the effect paint where you have more of the pigments and where you have less, so it becomes spotty. And then it would look more silver and less silver on one spot. That's what annoys me. The moment you put this in the sun right now with 5 layers, 4 layers, 5 layers, it's just full-on colors. So, like, you're not going to see any difference between the 4th and the 5th layer. But when you have it out of the sun and you can't see the color shifting effect, that's where you might need another layer. And then after that, cover it with some clear varnish, because otherwise this will fade and this will go away. So I reckon if you know how to spray paint with cans, it's not that hard to apply. It's just a lot of goes, and make sure to have really, really thin layers. And with the first and the second layer, you think there is nothing really happening. You just see a couple of sparkles and it's all black. Don't go overboard with the colors. Let it dry, give it 5 to 10 minutes rest, come in with another one, and give it 5 to 10 minutes rest and come in with another layer, and it'll build up like that. Because if you just hit it because you think you need more pigments on there, you're not going to get the effect. You just get lots and lots of like clear lacquer just sort of running about and build up. You don't want that. So be patient with that. But other than that, if you know how to use spray cans efficiently, it's not that hard. It's just a lot of work.
Cool. There was a question earlier on as well for LZ Mods. They were asking about your compressor and how low can you set it to? LZ, can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Say that again. Sorry.
There was a question earlier on the YouTube chat. Somebody was asking what's the kind of minimum pressure you can set your compressor at for the long shot?
Oh, well, the pressure is dictated by the pressure switch I showed. I actually got a spare one right here. So my long shot's charging right now, so I can give it a shot later. So I got a whole thing full of pressure switches right here, and this is identical to the one I'm using. And yeah, basically it adjusts anywhere between 0, which is of course useless, to 140. I'm pretty sure is the maximum cutoff point for these adjustable ones. But you can get non-adjustable ones that go above and beyond. Like for example, here's one that I ordered, which is non-adjustable, but its cutoff point is 150 psi instead. And these you can get for about, I don't know, $8 on eBay. And these adjustable ones, which come in normally open and normally closed variations, cost about $15 from eBay. And comes with this neat little rubber cap as well you can put on top. But yeah, basically my this long shot here in the background it's not really designed for taking to Nerf wars, basically, because it's you know, it's going to be
Oh,
outperformed.
if you turn it down at least to 300 or 350, you could take it to Wasteland Wars. I keep telling you, you got to come up to Bendigo one time.
Dean, I do. You're totally right. I need to. And I'm yet to chronograph it. I want to just take it to an event purely to use someone's chrony so I can see what numbers it's getting.
I now have a chronograph, so I don't know. If only you come over, and it's because Australia's in lockdown, and so it's a maximum of 2 people meetups.
Yeah. You're allowed one guest. So
also only necessary trips, and that is a very necessary trip.
Of course.
You need to do the science.
No, it's easy. You can just get through it all by joining Uber Eats, one of those courier companies. And if you're ever pulled over, show them the app and be like, "I'm on the job. I'm essential." You know, the perfect excuse. You can't get fined. Just pretend you work for Uber Eats. But in all fairness, I have been doing courier stuff, so I can sort of get away with it.
I think we're coming up to our last half an hour, or we're past that point. We should take a look at the group page. I don't know how that's happening. If Adrian or Al can do that, but yeah, we should have a look, see what how people have been going.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's lots of mods posted.
So do we all have to open the Facebook to talk about this, or will we be posting it somewhere?
I think I don't know if we all need to open up our own browsers, but I'm not sure how Adrian or hey Al, like, what was the plan to bring it up? Was one of us to screen share and then we're changing the panel layout, or how are we bringing that up bigger? Or were we doing that in this stream?
I'm not sure. I don't know how I'd be able to put it up on screen. Let me
have a quick look. Yeah.
It'd need to come from the studio. There was an interesting mod posted in the Facebook group about 3 hours ago, and it's a fully automatic hailfire integration, and I really like that one.
I need to check it out. I'm going to start scrolling through the page myself.
So there's a question. What's everyone's favorite game type?
Oh, I love HVZ, personally.
Yeah, HVZ is the most interesting, I think.
See, that's
something
funny.
Like a control points or domination is fun as well.
We don't have. Oh, there we go. That works. But we don't have HVZ in Germany. It's not a thing. So I have never played HVZ. I think it looks fun, but over here we more play like 5v5 or 10v10 sort of tactical games in close quarters, like laser tag or paintball arenas, and it's kind of capture the flag or a fun way. I think the most enjoyable game I play is what's it called? It's basically a setup where there is 5 capture points, and you just have to make sure to secure it and put like your color flag on the ground there. And the moment you have 3 of those in a line across the field, you win. But the moment you lose one, you have to recapture that, and then you have one referee just sort of sitting up high overviewing where he can see all the points, so you can see when you lined up a point, and all of that happens on the size of a soccer field, football field. So that's hilarious. It's so much fun.
That's good.
Is that a Red Bull suppressor so that you could open up a can of whoop ass?
I was just placing this there, seeing if somebody noticed, so I can just quickly scoop in and show you this. And I have to go that far back because otherwise it's not going to show. It's a long shot mod that will be a post-apocalyptic sort of design, which is why the Red Bull suppressor is on there.
Yeah, it adds at least 20 FPS.
It still fires, but in all honesty, if I take that off, you know the drill. Like, this is insane. Full-on aluminum barrel through here, so yeah, don't even talk about it. I
kind of want to do that now, just for the sake of it. I'll put a Red Bull suppressor on something.
Yeah, do it. It's fun.
There's a question there. What's everyone's favorite tool for modding with
My Dremel and my 3D printer, honestly, the most handy.
This
That's
little
good, right?
tiny screwdriver right here is my favorite.
That's true. Like, probably gets used amongst the most.
Things
How
I've
much-
never used, I'd have to say an electric screwdriver and files. A really nice set of files gets you high precision when you need to fix something. And then years ago I got to borrow a Dremel stylus, the really small battery powered portable Dremel, and it had like this nice ergonomic grip, and it was very nice.
Yeah, I think the favorite thing in my workshop is I've got a couple of kind of indoor spray booths, which means I can paint in my workshop indoors all year round.
I need that.
Lets me churn out blasters all year round. Constantly.
Yeah, because it gets cold or raining. Yeah.
Yeah, I so need that. I think my favorite tools are like the little wax working sort of bits and bobs that I use to work my epoxy as I do lots of integration. Like these bits I use on all the builds. Obviously you use a Dremel, but these ones they make my life so much easier because less sanding.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
So just looking at live chat, North SoCal Club was saying everyone's got their favorite screwdriver, and I think that's the thing, right? Because you need a large enough head that it doesn't strip the screws, but you need a thin enough stem that it will go into screw ports.
I hate it when the stem of screwdrivers is actually thicker than the actual end of the screwdriver, so you can't stick it into holes. It's so annoying. But yeah,
Like
my one's
like, what's the point of that? Like,
I know, it's like, get out of here. It should just all be streamlined, like, unless it's like got some funky detacher thing, you can swap out the heads maybe, but meh.
I've yet to find an electric screwdriver that will actually fit into screw ports. I need to find a nice thin one.
Oh yeah. So I got a message from Pandemonium. It seems that Adrian might be napping, so we can't actually change the screen layout to have a look at the Facebook page. But I don't know if guys want to individually look at stuff, if there's a particular post that you think is cool, and give us a description of which. Otherwise, we can just chat between ourselves till we're done. But yeah, game types. What Rainbow asked before. Yeah, I've been at Wasteland. We usually start off with like a team deathmatch just to wet everyone's whistle, and then well, the gameplay that I was editing was VIP capture the hill, where the VIP, you just have to get the one VIP to the hill, but everyone only has 4 respawns. But that was really fun because you're playing over such a large map and on rocky hills and all that kind of stuff. And another thing that the Wasteland guys like to do is Nerfius Dadius, or was it Dadius Nerfius? You'll see him on Facebook. He will set up LST, which is large scale tactics. So usually it's kind of like a series of objectives that, like, once you win one, then the next game the play area shifts to another area of the field. And so one time what he did was to keep it flowing. At the start of the day, before everyone got there, he went to all the locations to put the objective that we need to capture or defend, and he got the GPS coordinates. So what we had to do is, at the start of the game, we were given the GPS coordinates, and we had to go and find the location of the first objective. And then once we captured that objective, inside was a note to find the next one. So it was like, it was really cool.
Yeah, like if you're playing on a big site, those big long form games are really good.
And within each of the sequential objectives was a number. And so in that order was then the number you had to keep, was the unlock number for the phone that was the time bomb at the.
So we've got another question here. Somebody's asking, What's everyone's favorite cosmetic style? Do you prefer paints, wraps, dips, 3D parts, integrations?
Ooh, hands down integrations, and then painted, hand painted, and spray paint. Yeah, that's what I love doing the most. I'm gonna get myself an airbrush just to do a couple of things differently and a couple of things quicker. But I think I'll probably stay away from hydro dipping and 3D printing. Yes, when I have a printer, but at the moment, yeah, it's integrations and painting.
Yeah, I think myself, I'm kind of more old school integrations and just physically making things fit together and sculpt them yourself, making parts out of spare blasters. Love that. But definitely love hydro dipping. But love to complement hydro dip with paint and kind of have it kind of half so parts dipped, parts painted, and the kind of combination of that really makes the hydro dips pop and the blasters look a lot better, I think.
Personally, I think I just like old-fashioned spray paint, but I've never been too big into cosmetics. I'm more of a function over form guy, where I'll just focus on trying to make it perform as well as I can, however it happens to look along the way is how it looks. But I have painted some things in the past involving spray paint. Like here's some barricades I made sawn off, and I painted and modded them. Same basically for HVZ. So that's just basically, putting masking tape. You can tell this one's old because it's all scratched up as the yellow showing through. It's been through so many HVZ games. But my point is basically it's just basic masking tape and a couple of layers of spray paint. And I'm basically happy as long as it works and isn't jamming every second shot, then I'm a happy man. And yeah, you can complement it with 3D printing and stuff, but you don't need a 3D printer. You can still use all the traditional ways of changing the way it looks, whether it's just gluing PVC pipes in or doing your sanding and doing your cutting and so on. But yeah, I'm just more of a function over form sort of fella. But so I'm pretty happy with just basic spray, away I go. As long as it doesn't break on me.
Do you have a preference, Midnight?
I guess I like 3D prints and paint. I've done a few integrations, but the amount of sanding and the amount of time required to get that integration to where I thought it was, where it needed to be, it took a long time. My integration turned out really good. I'm happy with it, but to get more bang for my buck, I think, out of just buying some printed parts and throwing some paint on it.
It looks like Justin's got the Facebook feed up on the screen.
Midnight, what were you just saying? But that's an interesting point for me when I work on integrations, and it takes like long time, like with the one I was showing off earlier, working on that, over the course of a year. It's way more satisfactory to have that finished and running than just slipping on a 3D printed case and be like, bam. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I feel like I'm in over my head with too many ideas and too many projects, and I feel like ordering these 3D printed parts helps me expedite that process. I got bins of blasters and bins of parts waiting to be put together into this vision that I've got, and ideas for paint jobs and all these things out there. And the 3D printed parts make it easy for me and a little bit faster. And I'm really lucky that I'm in Southern California, so Foam Blast, man, they get to me like the next day when I order something from them. And Out of Darts is not far. I got some good 3D printer friends not far from me, so it's pretty good.
So, Justin, can you hear us? Is there anything you can see on the Facebook page?
Sorry, say again?
Is there anything interesting that you've spotted on the Facebook page there? Have you got the feed in front of you?
Sorry, I'm just trying to work out the alignment on my webcam area. Sorry. Yeah, I just booted up Minicam so I can capture my thing. Hang on, let me try and get this aligned.
Yeah, that's looking not bad. So have you guys submitted stuff onto the Facebook group so far?
All right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have just paint job I've been working on last night while I was watching Frank and Zilla's stream.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I've turned off push to talk, so if you hear background noise, sorry about that. Anyway, so let's do a quick rundown of what's been happening on the page. Jose, the same one that hangs out with Barrett and Welcome and Captain Xavier. Anyway, he has been doing an overhaul to the Han Solo blaster that came out with the movie. The green one that had a smaller plunger tube than the original, and I believe it also had a soundboard in it. But
that was Lights and Sounds one.
Yeah, he's trying to make it like a real what was it? A Mauser?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, that's nice. It's a shame that the plunger tube is so small. So
I do love the Han Solo blasters. I paint a lot of them, and I managed to buy a crate full of them when they came out with the Force Awakens movie. So
I really like the internal mag. Like you see it on the what's that Mega Blaster? It was like the first Mega pistol that came out. It's got the same. Yes, that's it. And it's got the internal mag. I was really thinking of it could be a really cool sort of like shotgun if you got like a Magnus pistol, for example, or like that Han Solo blaster, and you flipped it upside down. And then so that way, when you reload it, it's similar to a shotgun where you're getting darts and you're sticking the darts in the bottom basically. And then of course you have a pump grip, so then you pump it, and then you shoot, and then you have the reload similar to a shotgun. You're sticking the bullets straight into like this internal mag in the bottom. But like Ray's pistol as well. It's another Star Wars blaster that has like a similar sort of internal mag, but rare I see that one.
Yeah. Well, when we I think we did a review when what's his name? Psych got here. It was over. He it was just it's basically like a shrunk down Magnus, and I think that was a little disappointing, but yeah. So we have some guy called Rainbow Owl posting on the group, and that's a nice little paint job that you've posted.
Yeah, that's the thing I've been working on yesterday.
What is that top slide?
It's a cheap €2 Desert Eagle plastic kids toy from like a $1 shop, kind of thing, and it's integrated in a Big Shock, and it works with an inline clip. So
yes.
If you like, actually the silencer is there, so I could use a full length piece of brass. So if you want to see the internals, that's the internals of this blaster.
Yeah.
Wow.
Next up, Brandy Hall has posted a nice paint job and 3D printed cylinder on a hammer shot, and also there is I believe it's a printed or little dragon sigil.
Yeah.
Actually, can I bring that up bigger?
And that front end, oh my god, that's so good.
Very nice.
Oh, I only just noticed that. Dang.
My problem would be like running this in a war. You might probably snap it, but
yeah, that's just begging to get broken. That dragon.
But it's gorgeous. Like it's really, really gorgeous.
Yeah, that's cute.
Please don't.
Nice fade on that as well.
Simon Kravine Hansen. Sorry. My English is terrible. I'm Australian. So he's doing a mod on a Slingfire. Nice. Just one of the mod kits. And he's working on his painting a thing. Lordrick Drax is working on 2 Rapid Reds. Nice. Yeah. Brian Larson's also doing a strife. Oh, he's been sanding away to get the paint job ready. For some bizarre reason, Richard Hins is doing a mod to a Maverick.
It wouldn't be a mod party without a Maverick.
Yeah, there's always one guy.
Yeah.
I've always thought it'd be funny if someone took the original yellow Maverick and then got a small enough kind of solenoid system in there for HPA.
Yeah, very
or like a tiny air tank rather. And oh man, just
There's those little CO2 pistols, isn't there? I'm sure you could fit one of them.
well,
in there.
you could make it like if you could get the whole Neroda, if you're in the chat, yeah, can you make a CO2 system or something like that small enough to fit inside the Maverick?
Yes,
We're gonna,
please.
yeah.
You could.
That'd be
If we
so good.
can put men on the moon, we can CO2 a Maverick.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah,
funny in
there's those
2020? The premiere in 2020, the sidearm that everyone wants is the Maverick with an engine kit.
Yeah, let's make it happen. Let's do it. Oh, I like it.
Ben Anderson has been making. Oh, I think he's been trying to work out the positions of his motors and wiring for his. I think that's a strike. It's very up close. Sorry.
I'll be right back, fellas. I left my bottle opener upstairs.
Dude, you got two bottles in your hand. Like, use the one to open the other.
You willing?
Right. Oh, so this is something that I saw before and I wanted to bring up because Mod Bros is in the live chat. So Tucker Pascalini, I hope I pronounced that right. Sorry. He and his brother have been working on these sledless plunger pushers. So basically, it's kind of like I remember that the Singaporeans were doing similar stuff like this years ago, where you do a total replacement of the plunger tube on your long shot, and you have the front face is opened, and it's like a float. I think they called it a floating breech, where basically that front whole face. So what they've done is to maximize the air volume that you can get in the plunger tube. They've included. Hang on, can I open this? Oh, yeah, I think that'll look better. What they've done, and they've also done this for retaliators and seaters and everything else, is that their plunger tube is sheet metal. So then that way they can make the walls as thin as possible, and they can make the inner volume as large as possible. And then, it's kind of like how now the the Caliburn works. Where the arms connect to the front face and just push down in. And so they've now done this basically to an Alpha Trooper, and that looks cool.
That is pretty sweet.
It's kind of the Busby ones have that kind of floating breech, don't they? The kind of Sentinel and the Tech 8s and stuff.
No, the Sentinel is a float. The whole plunger tube is floating, not the breech. Yeah.
No, right. Okay.
Well, like when you prime the Sentinel, it pulls the whole plunger tube back.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are free to.
Oh, okay.
If you want to see me shoot some holes in something with that air pressure long shot behind me before you disappear, you guys are welcome to. I've got the batteries charged and everything. I got something else to show.
Charge it up and fire it, man.
Yeah, well, I've got something else to show. It's been a bit experimental, but obviously very not war legal. I've been shooting different Nerf darts, and I've been also 3D printing a bunch of Nerf darts because I noticed people are using what's it called, like rifling scar barrels and stuff, obviously to make the dart spin so it's more accurate. So I thought, what if the Nerf dart itself was rifled, like a shape of a drill bit, for example, as it traveled through the air?
I remember people experimented with that like years ago. So what were you doing?
I sort of made this sort of experiment for my own private joy, and I don't know if it works or not because I haven't got it over a really far distance and done like the data. but it works. Like I basically downloaded a 3D model of a drill bit, and then I resized it to fit like a glove. Like it fits better than a Nerf dart. And another problem I found with Nerf darts is when you're using brass barrel, like 1732 brass, is Nerf darts are mass produced. They're not precision engineered like the brass pipe is, or like, you know, like bullets are basically. So some darts don't even fit. Some darts are too loose. Some darts are perfect fit. And I thought to try and
Leon,
improve the tolerance. I noticed that when I just 3D print the things.
Sorry, Leon,
way more consistent.
What was the topic? Sorry, were you modding the darts? You were saying?
Say that again, sorry. Am I modding the darts?
Yeah. So what was your point? Sorry, were you modding the darts?
Oh, well, I was saying if it was more accurate and more consistent, 3D printing a dart with this rifling in it, so as it goes through the air.
That looks
the air
like you
passes
3D
through it.
printed a drill bit off Thingiverse.
Well, exactly. That's exactly what it is almost. I downloaded a 3D model of a drill bit, and I've gone from that as my base. I've like obviously changed the size, and I've made
I don't know how well because the drill bit's designed for cutting, not to introduce spin from air drag. So yeah.
Well, that's the experiment. Yeah, will it have the similar effect that rifling does? But one thing I have found along the way is it's
Adrian, let us. Sorry, we need to wrap this up because I think we're just over time now. So, Adrian, gave us the word. Alrighty, thank you very much, everyone, for coming along, and also thank you very much to people contributing. So we didn't get to see as much, but the last thing I do want to shout out on the page is Jack. Transition. There we go. Is this from Jaco Schmuckenstein? Sorry. Basically, he's trying to integrate the takedown with an extended mag, and then onto the front of that, he's putting a red Chronos. It's that to bring it all together. So that's going to be absurd.
Yes, that's looking good.
So yes. Alrighty, I'll switch back and we'll do the wrap up. Guys, do tell us what are you guys working on? Where can we find your stuff? Rainbow?
Working on
what's coming on your channel or that kind of thing?
The next videos I'm going to release on my YouTube channel is the Razor Song build, as well as a couple of inline clips things. I'm going to do some tutorials on how to paint and how to do inline clip systems and that sort of thing. You can find me, it's rainbowalex.com, which is my website, and you can find me on Instagram as Hugmaster Rainbow or Rainbow Mods and Props, so both work. And you can find me on YouTube and Rainbow Circus and Facebook. Like all the links are on the website. So yeah, and if you need anything, have any questions, just get in touch, write me an email. That'll be awesome.
All right, Midnight. What do you have to show off in the coming future, the near future?
Who knows what the future is going to hold. I like to get onto my Sentinel. I just kind of found those at the thrift recently, so I'd like to play around with my Sentinel. Haven't had a chance to run one in a war yet to see if I really enjoy it. You can find me. Yeah, it looks good. It's got a great reputation. You can find me on Facebook, Midnight Mod Society. I got a page and a group, and also an Instagram. And it's just a bunch of us dudes from SoCal. We all met at Z-Town and kind of show up and have mod parties.
Oh, I think someone's giving us echo. It might be you, Midnight. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anywho, and yes. So, sorry, did you have a YouTube channel or a Instagram?
No, I never made a YouTube. This is my first live stream video attempt. So, yep, just pictures uploaded on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay. And Leon, what you got going on in the near future?
Honestly, I'm just been working on this, shooting holes and things. You probably heard the dart just explode in a million pieces and damage the wall and a piece of cardboard. And I got my Facebook page is LZ Mods, and my special website is cheap3dprintingservices.com.au. I yeah, I like to shoot stuff and I like to print stuff, basically.
And Big Al of Monkeytron Collective, what have you got coming up?
Well, we're constantly busy in a way in the workshop. Next personal project's a M41A pulse rifle from Aliens that I'm working on. And next big thing is obviously this Foam Fest coming in a couple of weeks. So obviously our event's been cancelled physically, but we'll be doing a Foam Fest live event, much along the lines of World's Largest Mod Party.
Yeah, a lot like this.
We'll be having, on the same day that Foam Fest was planned, on the Saturday 18th of April, and we'll be running throughout the day. We'll have different sections. We've got lots of guests lined up to come in and do talks and chats and interviews, and we'll be promoting our sponsors for the event as well, and we'll also be raising money for the charity that we were supporting for the event, the OTR Bristol, the young person's mental health charity, work in the southwest of England. And they rely entirely on charity fundraising, and we'll be trying to raise as much money as we can for them on the day. So everyone, please check it out. Head to the Foam Fest website, www.foamfest.co.uk. You can check us out on Facebook, Foam Fest, the UK's North Convention. And you'll also find Monkeytron Collective on Facebook.
If people who have been watching the live streams throughout the weekend and enjoying this kind of thing, do go and support Foam Fest. It does suck that it sucks for everyone, but yeah, it does suck that these large events have been having to be postponed or cancelled for the year. So yeah, please go and show those guys support on their Facebook group. And for myself, I did get to see in person a Colonel Wasp Firefly, the injection molded Nerf shotgun thing, and it's very nice. I might have a video of that coming up, as well as some other gameplay. So, all right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Is there any last things on live chat? Everyone's just saying thanks. Yep. Woo, Foam Fest.
I damaged my wall for you guys. Hope you enjoyed.
Oh, you did.
Okay.
All right.
We'll end on that. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and stay tuned. Next up, I'm actually Al. Do you know what's up next up? The next stream, or are we it for today?
No, there's still a couple more to come.
Hang on. I don't have the roster in front of me right now because I had all these other things open. Well, stay tuned, people. The next stream will be up in half an hour.
Thanks for watching, guys.